a slow, soothing journey across Earth's oceans, forests, mountains, skies, and tiny hidden worlds, sharing the most relaxing facts about our planet to help you gently drift to sleep. Let the noise of the day soften, let your shoulders loosen, let your jaw unclench just a little. Right now, there is an entire planet quietly turning beneath you. Oceans are kissing distant shores, clouds are gliding over mountains, forest roots are whispering chemical messages in the dark soil, and you don't have to do anything at all. For the next 2 hours, we'll wander slowly through Earth's most relaxing facts. We'll visit deep, calm oceans. We'll drift over sleeping forests. We'll listen to the gentle work of soil, fungi, and moss. We'll watch glaciers flow, clouds form, and even the continents drift, all at a pace so slow it feels almost like stillness. You don't need to remember any of it. You don't even need to stay awake. If you like, take a soft breath in through your nose and let it fall out with no effort at all. Quiet wonders everywhere. As you settle in, know that this space is here for you whenever your mind feels a little too bright or your thoughts feel a little too loud. If this gentle mix of calm narration and soft science helps you feel a bit more at home in your own body, you might choose to subscribe or leave a quiet, sleepy like. No pressure, no rush, just a small signal that says, yes, more soft nights, more quiet wonder. Now, if you haven't already, let your eyes close or grow heavy, and we'll begin our journey across this quiet, spinning planet we call home. Above you, even now, is a soft blanket of air. It stretches up around 100 kilometers, yet almost all the air we breathe lives in just the very lowest part, a thin layer called the troposphere. Compared to the size of Earth, our atmosphere is as thin as the skin on an apple, so delicate, so easy to forget. The air pressing gently on your skin, moving in and out of your lungs, is part of a vast, slow circulation. Warm air rises at the equator and drifts upward and outward. Cooler air sinks near the poles and flows back again, quietly, like a planetary breath. Tiny particles of dust and salt float in this invisible ocean above us. Water vapor sticks to them, forming the tiniest droplets, so small you could line thousands along a single millimeter. Together, trillions of these droplets become a cloud. When you see a cloud, you're not looking at a solid object. You're glimpsing a temporary gathering of tiny droplets and ice crystals suspended in the sky, appearing and disappearing as conditions change. Clouds are like Earth's slow, gentle exhale. If you like, sync your breath with that image. Breathe in, like warm air rising. Breathe out, like a cloud slowly dissolving in a soft blue sky. Quiet wonders everywhere. More than 70% of Earth's surface is covered by water. From space, looks mostly blue, a quiet shimmering marble in the dark. The oceans are so deep that if you took the tallest mountain on land, Mount Everest, and placed it in the deepest trench, it would still be swallowed by water above its peak. Most of that water is calm. We often picture crashing waves, but deep below the surface, the ocean is slow and dark and steady. The sunlight fades after just a few dozen meters. Colors disappear one by one. Reds go first, then oranges, then yellows, until only deep blue remains, and then eventually nothing but darkness. In the deep ocean, temperatures hover near freezing. Water moves in giant looping currents that can take hundreds, even 1,000 years to complete a single circuit around the planet. This is called the global conveyor belt, a steady, patient flow that carries heat, salt, and nutrients between the surface and the depths. While you sleep tonight, these currents will continue, unhurried and constant, stirring the global ocean in a slow dance. Even on the surface, the waves that curl and fall are more ordered than they seem. They are made of energy moving through water, not the water itself traveling across the ocean. A single wave can travel thousands of kilometers before it ever meets a shore. So when you hear waves in the distance or in a recording, you're hearing the soft impact of energy that began its journey far away. Tonight you are like the deep ocean, still beneath the surface with gentle ripples up above. Quiet wonders everywhere. Beneath your feet, beneath the floor, beneath the soil and roots, lies the rocky skin of Earth. The crust. It feels solid and unmoving, but on geological timescales, it flows and drifts. The crust is broken into large plates like a cracked eggshell. These plates float on the semi-solid mantle beneath, moving just a few centimeters per year. That speed is about as fast as your fingernails grow. It doesn't sound like much, but over millions of years, this gentle drift rearranges entire continents. Continents that are far apart today were once joined together as a single landmass. Forests that now stand at temperate latitudes were once closer to the equator, bathed in tropical warmth. When you see stripes of color in rock layers, bands of red, gold, gray, you're looking at time, frozen in place. Each layer was once a surface, sand dunes under an ancient sun, mud at the bottom of a quiet lake, ash from a distant volcano settling gently like powder on still water. Over millions of years, these soft sediments were pressed together, grain by grain, into stone. If you placed your hand against a rock wall and could somehow feel its history, you would be touching ages of gentle deposition. Dust, silt, sand, and shells laid down by wind and water as steadily as breath. Tonight, your own stillness can be like rock forming. Each slow breath a new, soft layer of rest, stacked one on another. Quiet wonders everywhere. Soil looks simple at a glance, just dirt. But a handful of healthy soil can hold more living organisms than there are humans on Earth. Bacteria, fungi, tiny worms, microscopic creatures called protozoa all share this hidden world. They break down fallen leaves, dead roots, bits of wood, and old shells, turning them into nutrients that plants can use. This is recycling, but on a soft, living scale. When a leaf falls, it seems like an ending, but for soil life, it is a quiet feast. Bacteria release enzymes that gently dissolve complex molecules, snipping them into smaller pieces. Fungi send out thread-like hyphae, exploring the leaf in delicate networks. Over weeks, months, years, the leaf becomes unrecognizable. Its atoms return to the soil, to the air, and sometimes into new green leaves that will unfurl in spring. Under a forest floor, the air is still. The temperature changes slowly. Moisture is held like a memory in the spaces between soil grains. To the beings that live there, a raindrop is a lake, a root tip is a tree trunk, a single grain of sand is a boulder. Soil shows us that important work doesn't always look dramatic. It can be slow, hidden, and steady, like the quiet work your body does as you rest, repairing cells, balancing chemistry, resetting. Quiet wonders everywhere. Beneath forests, a hidden network stretches through the soil. Fungi form long, thin threads that branch and weave among the roots of trees. This partnership is called mycorrhiza, from Greek words meaning fungus and root. The fungus helps the plant drink. Its thin threads can reach into tiny pores in the soil that roots alone can't explore. They bring back water and dissolve minerals like phosphorus and nitrogen. In return, the plant shares sugars that it made using sunlight. It's a quiet trade happening all the time in near darkness. In many forests, these fungal networks don't connect to just one tree. They link many trees together, sometimes dozens, sometimes hundreds. Through these connections, trees may share resources, sending a little extra carbon to a shaded neighbor or to a seedling growing in dim light. Older trees with wide crowns, sometimes called mother trees, can feed young trees through these threads, helping them survive in a crowded forest. Messages may travel this way too. Chemical signals that say there is danger from insects or the soil is changing. The forest, in a way, is whispering to itself. All of this is happening right now, somewhere on Earth, while you listen. Slow, gentle exchanges in the dark soil, helping the forest stay alive. Your own quiet connections, memories, friendships, the small kindnesses you've given and received are a kind of mycorrhizal network, too. Invisible from a distance, but deeply real. Quiet wonders everywhere. If you have ever run your fingers along a patch of moss, you've touched one of Earth's gentlest pioneers. Mosses are simple plants. They don't have true roots like trees. Instead, they anchor themselves with tiny filaments and absorb water directly across their surfaces. Because they are small and tough, mosses can live in places where other plants struggle. On rock faces at the base of trees, on old roofs and shaded logs. They create little sponges holding moisture after rain, giving insects and tiny invertebrates a safe, damp home. Lichens are another subtle marvel. They are not just one organism, but a partnership. A fungus combined with an alga or a photosynthetic bacterium. The fungus provides shelter and structure. The partner captures sunlight and makes food. Together they can grow on bare rock where almost nothing else can survive. Some lichens grow so slowly that a patch the size of your hand might be decades, even centuries old. By gradually breaking down rock and catching wind-blown dust, mosses and lichens help create the first thin layers of soil. From that soil, grasses can grow, then shrubs, then trees, soft carpets on stone, preparing the way for entire forests. Sometimes the quietest lives have the longest effects, quiet wonders everywhere. High in the mountains and at the poles of our planet, snow falls and does not fully melt. Layer upon layer, year after year, the snow is pressed down by the weight of what lies above. Air is squeezed out. The crystals merge. Snow becomes firm, then dense blue ice. When the mass grows heavy enough, it begins to move. A glacier is born, a river of ice flowing downhill so slowly that to our eyes it seems still. In reality, many glaciers flow at just a few tens of meters per year. As the ice moves, it carries rocks and gravel with it, grinding the bedrock below and carving deep valleys with walls as smooth as fingertips on clay. When the glacier eventually retreats, it leaves behind curved ridges of rock and sediment called moraines. The ice itself records quiet memories of the sky. Snowflakes trap tiny bubbles of air as they fall. When that snow becomes glacial ice, those bubbles are preserved, little pockets of ancient atmosphere stored for tens of thousands of years. Scientists can drill ice cores and read them like a diary, seeing past temperatures, dust from old deserts, and traces of volcanic eruptions from long before any human wrote a word. The glacier is a slow memory keeper, flowing without hurry, writing the story of climate in layers of snow and ice. Your body, too, holds gentle records. not in ice, but in bones and scars, and the way your muscles relax when you finally feel safe. Tonight can be another soft layer in that record, quiet wonders everywhere. From mountain springs and melting snow, from quiet wetlands and hidden seeps, water gathers into trickles, then streams, then rivers. A river is a path carved not by feet, but by persistence. Water follows gravity, always seeking lower ground. It curves around harder rock, spirals gently in eddies, and over long time scales, it can sculpt entire landscapes. Every bend in a river is a conversation between flow and friction. Where the current speeds up, it erodes the bank. Where it slows, it lets go of its sediment, building sandbars and deltas. At the mouth of a river where it meets the sea, the fresh water slows and spreads. Particles carried from far inland settle out, creating fertile deltas that can support lush plant life and intricate wetlands. Along its journey, a river gives drink to animals, waters forests and fields, and creates habitats at every scale, from tiny pools for insect larvae to wide floodplains for birds and deer. If you imagine your day as a river, there were probably faster stretches, rapids of activity and thought, and slower ones, quiet pools of rest or waiting. Right now, you're in an oxbow, a calm curve of water left behind by the main current. Nothing is required of you here. You can simply drift. Quiet wonders everywhere. Earth spins on its axis, but that axis is not straight up and down. It's tilted by about 23.5 degrees. This small, gentle tilt gives us the seasons. When your part of Earth leans toward the sun, sunlight arrives more directly and the days grow longer and warmer. When your region leans away, sunlight comes in at a shallower angle and days grow shorter and cooler. It's helpful to remember, winter happens not because Earth is farther from the sun, but because of the tilt, a matter of angles and shadows. As the year turns, plants sense the changing light. In many places, trees respond to longer days in spring by sending hormones through their tissues, signaling buds to swell and leaves to unfurl. In autumn, as daylight decreases, they begin to break down chlorophyll, the green pigment that captures sunlight. As the green fades, other pigments become visible. Yellows from carotenoids, reds and purples from anthocyanins. Leaves drift down in a slow, colorful rain, creating a soft blanket on the forest floor. Season after season, this cycle repeats for centuries in the life of a single tree. Your own life has seasons too, though they may not follow a calendar's exact dates. Times of growth, times of rest, times of letting go. Tonight can be a gentle winter, a time to be still, to conserve energy, to trust that new growth will come again. Quiet wonders everywhere. Right now, as you listen, millions of other creatures on Earth are also resting. Some birds sleep while perched on branches, their tendons locked in a way that grips the wood automatically so they don't fall. Some marine mammals, like dolphins, let one half of their brain sleep at a time while the other half stays awake to surface for air. They drift in the water, half dreaming, half alert. Many insects experience a form of rest called torpor, a state where their metabolism slows and they become still, waiting for better conditions. Bears in winter dens enter a long, quiet period commonly called hibernation. Their heart rates slow, their breathing becomes shallow. For weeks or months, they eat nothing, drink nothing, yet their bodies recycle waste and preserve muscle and bone. Plants rest too, in their way. In winter, Trees in cold climates enter dormancy. Their metabolic process is slow. They concentrate sugars in their cells as a kind of antifreeze. Buds sit tight, sealed against frost, holding the blueprint for spring. You are in good company when you choose to rest. Sleep is not laziness. It is participation in a planetary rhythm, a cycle as real as tides and seasons. Let your next inhale be gentle and your exhale longer, like a sigh of relief from an entire ecosystem. Quiet wonders everywhere. In some places on Earth, night is not entirely dark. Tiny organisms in the ocean, like certain species of plankton, can produce their own light through chemical reactions inside their cells. When waves break, or when a swimmer moves through the water, these organisms are disturbed and they flash briefly like stars stirred in the sea. From the shore, it can look as though the waves themselves are glowing. On land, fireflies perform quiet light shows on warm summer nights. Special organs in their abdomens contain chemicals that react with oxygen, producing a soft green or yellow light with almost no heat. This is called cold light, and it's far more efficient than most human-made lamps. Each species of firefly has its own pattern of flashes, a timed code that helps them recognize mates. What looks to us like a field of gentle, random sparkles is actually a careful conversation in light. Certain deep-sea fish and jellyfish also glow in the dark, using bioluminescence to lure prey, confuse predators, or communicate. Imagine the ocean at depth. No sunlight at all, just the occasional blink or streak of living light. It's a reminder that even in places where we might expect emptiness, Earth is quietly experimenting with beauty. Tonight, you don't have to signal or flash or perform. You can simply be a steady presence in the dark. Quiet wonders everywhere. Every breath you take is connected to countless other breaths. The oxygen you inhale may have been released by a rainforest tree on another continent or a patch of ocean algae floating near the equator. Plants take in carbon dioxide and water, and using sunlight, they build sugars and release oxygen. This constant exchange keeps Earth's atmosphere rich enough in oxygen for animals like us to thrive. When you exhale, your breath doesn't disappear. The carbon dioxide you release diffuses into the air, gets caught up in currents, and may eventually be drawn down by a leaf somewhere or dissolve into the ocean's surface. Tiny pores on leaves called stomata open and close like mouths, taking in carbon dioxide, releasing oxygen and water vapor. They respond to light, to humidity, to internal signals from the plant. On a sunny morning, millions of stomata across a forest may open in loose synchrony, beginning their day's quiet work. Just as your lungs expand and contract, so does the planetary lung. Forests, grasslands, plankton blooms, rising and falling in productivity with seasons and sunlight. Take a slow breath now if you wish, in and out. You are not separate from this cycle. You are part of the way the planet breathes. Quiet wonders everywhere. In deserts, it can seem like nothing is happening. Dunes appear still, just piles of sand under a hot sky, but each grain of sand has a story. Many grains began as solid rock, granite, basalt, sandstone, slowly broken down by weathering and erosion. Water seeped into tiny cracks, froze and expanded, wedging pieces apart. Wind carried small fragments away, tumbling them against each other, rounding their edges over thousands of years. Under a microscope, sand grains are varied and beautiful: clear quartz, pink feldspar, dark minerals like magnetite, all mixed together. Even in the hottest deserts, life persists quietly. Some seeds can lie dormant in dry soil for years, waiting for a rare rain. When water finally arrives, slept-in seeds awaken, sprouting quickly, flowering and setting new seeds before the ground dries again. Then they return to waiting, as if going back into a long, dreamless sleep. At night, desert temperatures often drop sharply. Under a clear sky, heat radiates away into space and the sand cools. Small animals emerge, foxes, rodents, insects, avoiding the harshness of the day by making the night their time. Deserts are not empty. They are simply places where things happen slowly and where survival requires patience and timing. Your rest tonight is a bit like those dormant seeds. A pause, a gathering of strength before another cycle begins. Quiet wonders everywhere. Beneath warm, shallow seas, coral reefs rise like living sculptures. Each coral is an animal, a tiny polyp with a soft body and tentacles that extend to capture food. Over time, these polyps build hard skeletons of calcium carbonate. As generations come and go, their skeletons stack, forming massive reef structures that can stretch for hundreds of kilometers. Inside their tissues, many corals host microscopic algae called zooxanthellae. The algae capture sunlight and produce sugars, supplying much of the coral's energy. In return, the coral offers protection and access to light. During the day, reefs can seem busy. Schools of fish, crabs, and shrimp, turtles sliding past. But there are quiet times too. At night, some fish find sheltered crevices and become still. Certain corals extend their tentacles more fully into the dark water, feeding on plankton. The reef changes shifts, like a small city where day and night workers trade places. Even the soundscape of a reef is soothing when heard through the right filter. The crackle of snapping shrimp, the gentle rasp of parrotfish grazing, the low, distant rumble of waves. All of this happens rhythmically, tied to tides, to phases of the moon, to the slow pulse of seasons. Just as reefs rely on partnership, coral and algae, fish and cleaning stations, predators and prey. You rely on countless quiet partnerships inside your own body, cells exchanging signals, bacteria in your gut helping you digest, organs sharing the work of keeping you alive. Rest honors those partnerships, giving them a calm environment in which to do their work. Quiet wonders everywhere. Earth is not alone on its journey around the sun. The moon travels with us locked in a gentle orbital dance. It is smaller than Earth, but massive enough to tug on our oceans. This gravitational pull causes the water to bulge slightly on the side facing the moon and on the opposite side as well. As Earth rotates, different regions pass through these bulges, experiencing high and low tides. The daily rise and fall of the sea, the slow advance and retreat of shorelines, is a conversation between Earth, Moon, and Sun. Tidal pools appear and disappear, creating temporary homes for starfish, crabs, and small fish. Many coastal creatures time their activities to these changes, breeding, feeding, retreating into shelter at low tide. Even some human cultures have long used the tides as a clock, measuring time not only in days and seasons, but in the rhythmic swelling and soft withdrawal of the sea. The moon also stabilizes Earth's axial tilt, reducing extreme swings that could make our climate wilder and less predictable. So while you may see the moon as a calm disk in the sky, it is quietly helping to keep conditions on this planet gentle enough for life like ours. Tonight, as you rest, the moon will continue its orbit, tugging softly on the oceans, keeping time in silver silence. Quiet wonders everywhere. A tree does not hurry. From a tiny seed, it sends down a first root, a pale thread reaching for moisture. Then it sends up a shoot, a green finger seeking light. Year by year, it adds a little height, a little thickness. Inside the trunk, just under the bark, a thin layer of cells called the cambium adds new wood. In many climates, this growth changes with the seasons, fast in spring and early summer, slower in late summer and autumn, almost paused in winter. These changes create visible rings in the wood, one ring for each year, a record of good summers and poor ones, of droughts and abundant rains. A tree, simply by standing there, is quietly writing its autobiography. Its leaves capture sunlight, turning it into sugars through photosynthesis. Some of those sugars feed growth. Some are stored in roots and trunk for leaner times. Through tiny pores on their leaves, trees release water vapor into the air, a process called transpiration. This invisible flow of water can help cool the surrounding air and even influence local weather patterns, but the tree does not force any of this. It simply responds to light, to water, to temperature in steady, rooted ways. You don't have to grow quickly either. You don't have to have everything figured out. You can be like a tree tonight, rooted in the present, gentle in your changes, trusting that rings are still forming even when nothing dramatic seems to be happening. Quiet wonders everywhere, all around you and even inside you, are tiny living things too small to see with your eyes alone. Bacteria, archaea, single-celled eukaryotes, viruses, and microscopic fungi form vast communities in soil, water, and the air. In your own body, trillions of microbes live mostly in your gut, but also on your skin and in other tissues. Many of them are not enemies. They are partners. Some help you digest food, some produce vitamins, some train your immune system to recognize threats and ignore harmless molecules. In the environment, microbes break down dead plants and animals, releasing nutrients back into the ecosystem. Certain bacteria can fix nitrogen from the air, turning it into forms that plants can use to build proteins and DNA. Others help detoxify pollutants and metals, softening the impact of human activity. Microbes reproduce quickly, but many of their processes are still slow, delicate, and precise, like tiny chemists working around the clock. You are not a single being passing through an empty world. You are a walking ecosystem, interwoven with countless helpers. As you rest, they keep going, tending to your digestion, your defenses, your balance. You can let them work. You can let Earth work. You can let yourself simply be. Quiet wonders everywhere. While you listen, Earth is continuing its slow spin on its axis. At the equator, the surface moves at about 600 kilometers per hour. But you do not feel this speed. You feel gravity holding you close and the familiar stillness of the ground beneath you. On the night side of Earth, where you are now, the sun is hidden behind the curve of the planet. People are sleeping in cities and villages and houses and apartments, on boats and trains, in tents beneath the stars. Animals are curling into nests and burrows. Others are waking, beginning their night's work. Somewhere a forest is bathed in moonlight. Elsewhere, clouds are raining softly on fields at rest. Above the clouds, the thin atmosphere glows faintly with air glow, light produced by chemical reactions high in the sky, too dim for most eyes to notice. Farther out, satellites orbit silently, their metal surfaces catching the sun even when the ground below is in darkness. On longer timescales, Earth orbits the sun, and the entire solar system moves through our galaxy. And yet, for you here in this bed, life can narrow to a single point of awareness. The rise and fall of your chest, the gentle heaviness of your limbs, the softness of the surface beneath you. The universe is vast, is intricate, but right now it is enough to simply rest. Quiet wonders everywhere. You have drifted through oceans and forests, across deserts and glaciers, beneath soils and skies. You visited the hidden threads of fungi, the silent labor of microbes, the patient growth of trees, the slow breathing of tides and seasons. All of these things are part of Earth, and Earth is the context that holds your life. You are not separate from this quiet planet. The calcium in your bones once flowed in ancient seas. The oxygen in your blood was exhaled by leaves and drifting plankton. The carbon in your cells was pulled from the air by photosynthesis and carried through food chains before becoming part of you. You are, in a very real sense, earth walking, earth thinking, earth resting. As you move towards sleep, if you haven't already arrived there, you might imagine that you are lying in the gentle palm of the planet, cradled by gravity, wrapped in a thin protective sky, lulled by the soft motion of oceans and air. You belong here. You are part of this story too. The forests do not rush. The glaciers do not rush. The moon does not rush. There is no need for you to rush either. Let your breath become easy. Let your thoughts drift farther apart like clouds spreading in a wide blue sky. If sleep is ready, let it come. If not, you can simply rest in this quiet, knowing that your body is already doing the gentle work of restoring you. Quiet wonders everywhere.